Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Sheriff's Mic, cleared to talk with me, Sheriff Corey Honea. I've got another story of redemption today. I love these stories of redemption, and whenever I hear one, I find a lot of inspiration in them. So I took the chance to invite another guest on. I have Stephen Arrington with me today. How I describe Stephen Arrington, there's a lot of ways to describe this man. A Navy veteran, firefighter, convicted felon, inspirational speaker, author of this book called In DeLorean's Shadow. He's got a really remarkable story. And what's most amazing in my view is, he's done all these incredible things. He's walked this path. He has been at the bottom of the barrel and then climbed his way out. And now he's trying to share his story and become an inspiration to others. And he lives right here in Butte County. Stephen, thank you for coming on my show. I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Sheriff. It's a pleasure to be here. Absolutely.
So you had sent me a letter a while back. It's been a couple of years. It's been a few years ago, actually, in offering up your services as a diver. And I want to talk a little bit about what would give you the skill set necessary to do that. And I remember reading the letter and thinking it was certainly an interesting letter. That was prior to you receiving a pardon. We're going to get into that as well, right?
Right.
But then our paths crossed again a few nights ago when we had the opportunity to have a special dinner that was part of a fundraising event for the Butte County Sheriff's Search and Rescue. And after you reintroduced yourself to me and started reminding me of your story, I thought, wow, this is a great story, and we should have you on the Sheriff's Mic. So let's start with this. I think, where were you born?
I was born in Pasadena, California,
Okay.
1948.
Okay.
77 years old now.
Okay.
And I'm a fourth-generation Californian. I love this state.
Yeah.
And I love Butte County, and I want to see things get, better and better for
Well,
the
I
family
appreciate
share.
that. Yeah, I think you and I both share that same view. So you're born in Pasadena, California, and at some point you end up joining the Navy, correct?
Correct.
When was that? Do you recall?
Yeah, very well.
Okay.
1966.
Okay. And so what, did you join or were you drafted?
No, I joined.
You joined.
I wanted to join the Navy.
Okay. And what was going on in the world at the time that you joined? Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And so you opted to join the Navy at a time when our country was at war. Was the war as unpopular, or the sentiment about the war that we've come to know Vietnam being a rather unpopular war within our country, was that same sentiment going on at the time that you joined?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So why'd you join?
I grew up a patriot.
Okay.
And I wanted to join the Navy, but what I really wanted to do is, my big dream was Captain Jacques Cousteau did The Silent World.
Okay.
And I wanted to be a diver for Captain Jacques Cousteau more than anything.
Yes.
And I was sitting in front of a TV at about 12 years old, watching him in black and white with flippers on my feet.
Okay.
And my mom asked me, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Mom, when I grow up, I'm going to be a diver for Jacques Cousteau." And she said, "Don't be ridiculous.
Okay.
You don't speak French. You're just a kid. You have no skills. Why would he ever hire you?"
Right.
And to realize that dream, we didn't have much money or anything. My
Okay.
parents were divorced. And it was not a very good childhood.
Okay.
And I joined the Navy because I wanted to become a Navy diver.
Got it. You saw a pathway.
I saw a path, but the Navy had a different idea, and so I did 4 tours to Vietnam with the fleet, rescuing pilots and things like that.
Yeah. So I'd like to get into a little bit of that because I think that's a remarkable story in and of itself. I do think it's important for you and I to give some of our younger listeners, if you will, a little bit of an education on who Jacques Cousteau is, because the older we get, the more that particular bit of pop culture knowledge begins to fade away. So who was Jacques Cousteau?
Jacques Cousteau he passed away,
Okay.
The most famous underwater explorer ever.
Okay.
And he took us underwater, Silent World, as Jacques Cousteau, and I was just in love.
It's a television show.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, he produced a television show.
Also documentary. His documentary won the Academy Award for Best Documentary of the Year.
Right.
and he traveled the world, and he talked about the environment,
Right.
and marine mammals and such, and
Right.
Learning about sharks and whales and all kinds of things.
Sure. So I remember as a kid that being on television. Of course, when I was a kid, there were only 3 channels to
Right.
choose from, right?
Uh-huh.
But I remember that airing and something like that. So I think that's an interesting part of your life, and the fact that inspired you to go to the Navy is really incredible. And we can get into what you did with that in a moment. But you talk about joining the Navy with the idea of becoming a diver in the midst of the Vietnam War. And you ended up serving, did you say 4 tours in Vietnam?
4 tours,
Yeah.
6-month tours.
Okay. And tell us a little bit about that experience.
Well, there's not a lot to tell because
Okay.
I never got hurt. I never hurt anybody.
Okay.
It was just assignments and doing things.
Yeah.
And I still was looking to become a diver.
Okay.
And finally, I got accepted to go to the Navy deep sea diving school.
Okay.
I became a hard hat diver.
Okay.
And then just to carry it on a bit so we get to what's really fun and exciting,
Okay.
I became an EOD diver, bomb disposal.
Okay.
And so when I offered my services to you, I was offering them to you as a bomb disposal diver who I can defuse nuclear, chemical, biological, conventional weapons, foreign and domestic.
Right. Well, I will tell you, I am happy to say that Butte County has not yet had to deal with a nuclear or biological weapon under the water that would require a bomb disposal diver. But given what we've gone through in the past decade, I'm certainly not going to rule out the possibility at this point, right?
Sure.
Yeah. So how long were you in the Navy?
14 and a half years.
That's almost a career, right? I mean, generally a career in the military is 20 years, correct?
It was actually my intent.
Yeah, okay.
And I was a chief petty officer. I
Okay.
was the chief of Explosive Ordnance Disposal Team 11.
Okay,
I was being considered for a commission, but I had a secret problem.
okay.
And that is that I was a surfer,
All right.
and I was the surfing community in Hawaii particularly, is influenced by marijuana.
Okay.
And I find that I've spoken to many thousands of
Yeah.
youth. And when somebody's doing something good, they want to share it with their friends.
Sure.
Well, when they're doing something bad, they also want to share it
Yeah,
with their
exactly.
friends.
Yeah.
And so I started smoking marijuana with my friends,
Okay.
and I got in the command. A lot of us were Vietnam vets,
Right.
and so we would share marijuana one person to another.
Right.
And that was the environment that I was in, and it became an addiction to me.
Okay.
A lot of people say marijuana is not addictive. If you can instantly change your attitude, your focus, well, that can become addictive.
Yeah.
And so I became addicted,
Okay.
and we transferred back and forth, but unfortunately I transferred some to somebody else,
Okay.
and I was arrested with 2 ounces of marijuana.
While still in the military.
Still in the military, by naval intelligence.
Yeah.
And I wound up getting 2 months in the brig,
Okay.
Which I deserved.
Okay. Fair.
But
enough.
I had what was called a critical nuclear weapons design information clearance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's now gone.
Right, because of the conviction or the
Conviction.
Yeah.
And I got court-martialed,
Okay.
and I received a bad conduct discharge.
Okay.
Remember, this is 2 ounces of marijuana we're
sure,
talking
yeah.
about. And young people will tell me, well, it was only 2 ounces. I mean, that's all but legal today.
Yeah.
Well, that wasn't the point. The point was it was illegal.
Yeah.
And if you're doing something illegal, it means you're associating with people who are criminals.
Yeah.
And it was all my own fault.
Sure.
And I foolishly stumbled into something I should never have done.
Yeah.
And I will never forget. I stood in the ranks of heroes. We were bomb disposal
Right.
people. We saved lives.
Right.
I worked on top secret projects. I had a phenomenal career, and I ended it because of an addiction.
Yeah. So I want to talk a little bit about that some more, because the way you describe your military career, 14 years is a significant investment of your life into a particular endeavor. You clearly had risen to become part of an elite unit, right?
Correct.
And to get to chief, that's no small feat in and of itself, right? Not everybody gets to get to that rank either, right?
No, and being in charge of a bomb disposal, the chief of a bomb disposal team,
Right.
and the responsibility, because lives can be lost.
Immense responsibility.
Total.
Immense responsibility. And you're 6 years away from a military retirement, right?
Yes.
So,
But I was thinking 30 years.
Okay, you're thinking 30 years. Okay.
I wanted to become an officer. I wanted to move up in the officer ranks.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was adventurous. It was dynamic.
Right.
I was jumping out of helicopters, airplanes, in submarines. Life was an incredible adventure.
Yeah. You're stationed in Hawaii.
Correct.
Which is not a bad place to be, I would suspect.
No.
Right.
I was in East Loch and at Lualua Weapons Station.
Okay. So you have really all these amazing things going for you. Your trajectory is straight up, right? But this getting involved in marijuana, and I understand that the attitudes about using marijuana have changed drastically from then to now. And you're right. It has essentially been decriminalized for recreational purposes in California now. But at the time, as you were well aware of the fact that it was illegal.
Yes, and the reason why I got a bad conduct discharge, which could destroy my life, is I was a nuclear weapons bomb disposalman.
Right. Top secret.
All that.
Very sensitive material.
And if I make a mistake, a lot of people can die.
Sure. Well, not only that, though, I would suspect also that you probably had knowledge of things that we wouldn't want our foreign adversaries to know about.
Oh, you bet.
And when you're engaged in something that is illegal, it creates an opportunity for foreign adversaries to use that against you, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so there's that aspect of it as well, which is why that's so critically important. I want to talk a little bit about this idea of addiction, because I do think that's significant. And I, in my career, have seen many people battle addiction and give up incredible opportunities, trade a life that was full of promise for a life that was full of misery. And in many respects, you did the same thing, right? You traded a life of promise for a path that led you down a really challenging.
Actually, I flushed it down the toilet.
Okay, absolutely,
okay.
Right, yeah.
And that literally, because I was living in Navy housing, and my roommate was the one who sold the marijuana, and I was doing it for him on that day.
Okay.
And I saw the Naval Investigative Police rushing the house. I grabbed the marijuana. I ran back. I threw it in the toilet. I flushed it. And that's how I was arrested, kneeling in front of a toilet, elbow deep in the bowl, because I was trying to shove it down.
You know, that metaphor, I flushed my life down the toilet, is really appropriate. And actually, there's a literal aspect to that whole thing, given the story that you just told, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you think about that. I mean, think about how distinguished it would be to be the, chief petty officer, right?
Mm-hmm.
In charge of the unit you're in, with your hand shoving marijuana down a toilet. Those two images are, juxtaposed against each other is a really stark difference, right? Stark distinction between the two.
And also, Sheriff, the embarrassment.
Yeah.
When I had the commanding officer looks at me.
Right.
And had trusted me.
Yeah.
And I failed that trust.
For sure. Yeah. So your roommate was the person who was selling it, essentially.
He's one of the people who helped get me involved in doing it.
Okay.
But remember, I did this. I made the choice.
I get that. I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand. And I think we're going to tie into that. I think there's a theme that later on you find yourself in a similar position, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Worse.
Yeah, worse. Exactly. Worse. But this addiction that you had, and a lot of people talk about how marijuana is not addictive. And I would submit to you, and I think you and I have had some conversations about this, that the marijuana that you were using back then is different than the marijuana that we see here today.
Marijuana today is a very serious drug.
Much stronger, more potent
Plus,
strains.
if you vape it, you can go up to 100%. Ours, for me, it was the THC content was about 0.03%.
Okay.
And now you can literally vape 100% THC.
Yeah.
And it has a huge impact. And
Sure.
I also want to mention something is that for people who have continued to smoke, who are our age,
Right.
it becomes toxic to the body.
Yeah.
And they go into situations of projectile vomiting
Right.
and dizziness, and they don't know what's causing it, so they smoke more marijuana, and it gets worse and worse and
Sure.
worse. And we're finding that a lot of senior citizens have drug issues now because of
Yeah.
the acceptance of marijuana.
Well, there's also a lot of research right now on the impact of the chronic use of marijuana on a developing brain, and the fact that can have detrimental effects going forward, not only in terms of mental health but also other addictive behaviors and things of that nature as well. So going back to this over something which, as you sit here today, must seem so stupid to flush your life away. That's what you did.
Incredibly stupid.
Right. Right.
And it's hard for me to realize. I felt, well, I'm a relatively intelligent individual to achieve what I did.
Yeah.
That I willingly did this.
Yeah.
It was, I created my own failure.
Yeah. Yeah. So you get a less than honorable discharge. Is
Yes,
that what it
bad
was?
conduct.
Yeah, bad conduct. Yeah, bad conduct discharge. What do you do from there?
Well, I got out of the Navy,
Okay.
and you're going to go tell your employer,
Yeah.
this
It's a tough
or
thing to
that.
do. Yeah.
I went to work at a surf shop
Okay.
because I was
Yeah.
into surfing, and I surfed, and I was going to college. I was trying to put my life back together again.
Okay. Were you still in Hawaii?
No, I was in San Diego.
So you moved back. You moved back to California and in San Diego.
Right.
Got it.
And so I'm going to college, and I'm trying to put my life back together, but I was still addicted to marijuana.
And the surf culture, no matter where you are, you're probably going to find that element.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay.
Or even it finds you.
Sure. Sure.
So, it's by circumstance.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was working at the surf shop, and the phone rang one day,
Okay.
and the owner said, "It's for you. Don't keep the phone tied up too long because I'm waiting for some." He was trying to get a deal.
Got it.
A drug deal.
Okay.
And on the phone is a multimillionaire
Okay.
aviation engineering genius
Okay.
who I once looked up to like a father figure.
Okay.
And he told me, he said, "Steve, I've been trying to find you. You've been so hard to find. I know what happened in the military." He actually wrote a letter on my behalf.
Okay.
And he says, "I want you to come to work for me. You're like a son to me.
Okay.
And you're still a pilot?" And I go, "Yes, I still have my license."
Okay.
And so he wanted me to come on board. And he said, "I'm going to train you to be the executive vice president of my corporations.
Okay.
I'm going to start you off at $50,000 a year.
Probably pretty good money back then.
And we're going to get you a plane.
Okay.
And your salary will double in about 6 months.
Wow.
And then we'll probably double it again after that."
Okay.
And I'm just going, wow.
How can you turn that offer down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as I went to work for him, I saw a corruption in this man
Okay.
that I had not been aware of before.
Sure.
And he was willing to do things and say things. And he asked me, "Do me a favor.
Okay.
I need you to co-pilot a plane to Colombia."
Okay. Right.
And I'm going, "District of?" And he goes, "No, as in that powdery white stuff."
Okay.
Sheriff, I was floored.
Sure.
I was trying to put my life back together, but I wasn't going anywhere because
Yeah.
I had my marijuana addiction.
Yeah.
And that's why he came after me.
I read that I read that part of the book as well. That, and let's back up just a little bit. So, how did you first? Who was this individual?
His name was Morgan Hetrick.
Okay, and how did you first come to know him?
I taught him. I certified him as a diver.
Okay, all right. So, diving, your diving led you to this connection, right?
Right.
And when was that? Do you recall when that was?
1982.
Yeah, so clearly you made some impact on him, right? Because it wasn't just like, hey, this guy taught me to dive and he moved on. There was some connection. What caused that connection?
But I hadn't seen him.
You hadn't seen him?
No, I hadn't seen him.
Yeah.
And he found me, and he had plans for me that I was not aware of.
Sure, because you were vulnerable.
I was vulnerable, and more than that, I could be manipulated.
Right, right. And so maybe that's a better way to say it, because a moment ago we talked about how foreign adversaries would look for somebody who had a vulnerability, right, an addiction, right, and try to exploit it. But it sounds to me like this individual essentially used a similar tactic, right? He saw a vulnerability in that he knew that you were addicted to marijuana, and he knew you suffered that conviction, right? So perhaps concluded that you were predisposed, or it wouldn't be very hard to lead you down this path that he ultimately wants to lead you down.
Exactly.
Right?
Mm.
Yeah. So you're having, had you started working with him before he brought up this idea of flying to Colombia?
No, well, I had never worked. When I say worked for him, I taught him to dive,
Okay.
and he was interested in meeting ladies.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he had a very nice dive boat,
Okay.
a really nice vessel.
Right.
And he's a mega millionaire.
Yeah.
And planes and all that type of stuff.
Sure.
And so that was a lure for ladies of less than,
Yeah.
morals.
Right. Okay. Fair enough.
And so we started doing things together along
Okay.
that line.
Yeah.
And
So
but
you captain his boat, or you?
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
and
Yeah.
took people diving. But then I wanted to become a bomb disposal diver at that time.
Okay.
And so I had, he wanted me to stay to work for him, and I go, no, I'm going to follow my career.
Okay.
And I go off on my career, and now 7 years later, I'm living in San Diego, and he finds me down there.
Okay.
And he hires me as a pilot and his right-hand man.
When did you learn to fly?
When I was working for him,
Okay.
I paid the money to learn how to become a private pilot, most dangerous thing in the sky.
Okay. So when you say you were working for him, when you were doing the diving stuff with his boat and teaching him to dive, you also went and got your pilot's license.
Yes.
And then that was still while you were in the military, though. Was that
Correct.
Correct. Okay. Good. And you never flew for the military, though, correct?
No.
Okay. And then you get the situation where you get discharged from the military. He finds you, knows that you're
2 years later.
2 years later, okay, knows you're still a pilot, and offers this almost too good to be true offer.
And the thing of it is when something seems too good to be true,
Yeah.
it probably isn't true.
Fair enough. Yeah, exactly.
And when he revealed to me, wanted me to co-pilot a plane to Colombia, he was the #1 cocaine transporter for Pablo Escobar.
Okay. All right.
And when he wanted me to co-pilot a plane to Colombia, and I go, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
And this is court record.
Okay. Yeah.
In fact, later on, he even advised that he had to twist my arm to get me in that airplane.
Okay.
Well, the way he twisted my arm is he had a guy stand behind me, Rafa, who was the #1 hitman for Pablo Escobar.
Okay.
And I was told silver or lead.
Yeah.
Get in the plane and take a bullet in the head.
Yeah. Right. Right.
Sheriff, I thought I was a macho guy.
Okay.
And with my team and my men, we were courageous.
Sure.
Okay, but it's that camaraderie
Right.
breeds that. Now I was alone,
Right.
by myself,
Right.
and being threatened,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how to get out, and not only for me to get hurt, but they go after your family.
Right.
So it's manipulation on a Pablo Escobar level.
For sure.
And so I co-piloted a plane to Colombia.
Okay.
Came back with 650 pounds of cocaine in the plane.
Okay.
We don't need to get into it, but almost died.
Okay.
And then I found myself, I don't know how to get away now.
Yeah.
How do I escape this
Yeah.
and not get killed?
For sure.
And so
Because once you're in, they've got your claws.
you're in.
Claws on you.
You're in.
Exactly. Yeah.
And so I was ordered to drive a car from Florida to California.
Okay.
It had 65 pounds of cocaine in the trunk,
Okay.
and I don't want to drive this car, but I do.
Okay.
And so there's no excuse. That's what I really want everybody
Yeah,
to
I understand.
understand is that I was doing things I should absolutely not have done.
Mm-hmm.
And I was rescued by a dozen DEA, FBI agents with rifles, pistols, and shotguns.
I understand.
And one of them, he did something that blew my mind.
Okay.
I'm in the drug car,
Yeah.
and he slides in next to me with a shotgun, and he jammed it against my rib cage, and he worked the action.
Okay. All right.
And I about completely lost it.
For sure.
And then he goes, "Federal agents, dirtbag, you're under arrest." What flooded through my heart and soul was relief.
Really?
This was the only way I could get out of the Medellin drug cartel and not be killed.
Yeah.
These were the good guys.
Yeah.
And I had worked with law enforcement as a bomb disposal person.
Yeah.
I had worked with the Secret Service. I had worked with the CIA.
Yeah.
A lot of very fascinating operations, and I missed all that.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to prison.
For sure. So let me. There's 2 points, and I want to unpack the how you got to that point in a minute. Now I just want to reflect on one thing. I did a podcast episode not too long ago with Sean Weber, who is a city councilman for the city of Oroville and a convicted bank robber. And he similarly dealt with addiction, methamphetamine, and went on a spree of bank robberies. And he has a similar story about getting pulled over as he's after robbing a bank. He's coming back into town. The cops are converging on him, and he tells the story about one of the deputies that worked for the sheriff's office at the time, pointing a gun at his head, and the same kind of thing. Him realizing, okay, this is my beginning again, right? This is where I get to start over again. It's interesting that there's that similar kind of relief when most people think that was the worst point of your life. What I'm hearing you say is you recognized it as an opportunity to get out of the life that you were in.
And I had a price to pay.
Yeah, fair enough, exactly. So how many times did you make the flight to Colombia?
Once.
One time. Was it one time? Okay. And where did the flight originate from?
Well, out of Mojave Airport.
In California.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And it flies all the way to Colombia. And then where did you fly back?
Well, it was a twin-engine Aztec.
Right.
And we had a 100-gallon fuel bladder in the back, and that plane was sabotaged.
Okay, because I read in the book that it's the capacity was, I don't know, a couple 100 pounds, but they had loaded it down with over 600 pounds of cocaine. So the thing is actually, the wheels are starting to flatten out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And I can imagine that trying to get airborne in that thing, I hope your runway was long, because trying to get airborne in that thing must have been something else.
Well, it was, because the runway's not long,
right?
Because the Colombian military is looking for those runways.
Right.
And so they try to camouflage them as much as they can, and we barely cleared and got up and away, and I could have died right then and there. For sure.
But you make it back.
We made it back. The scary flight.
Yeah, I bet.
And then when we landed, it was later on, after that I'm ordered to drive the car with the cocaine in it.
From Florida to California?
Yes.
Okay, so is that the same load, or was it a different load?
Different load.
Different load. Okay, so at some point later on, you get another assignment, right?
Yes.
An assignment is drive the. But apparently the DEA, FBI, they were on to you, right? Because that was the car you got stopped in?
Yeah, they knew all about it.
They knew all about it. Okay. So is that because there was an informant within the organization?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So what's the story on that?
Well, his name was James Timothy Hoffman.
Okay.
That's not his real name. That's the name that was given to him by the New York Police Department.
Okay.
And he was a confidential informant professional.
Okay.
And he would set up. He knew all the people in the drug world.
Okay.
And he would set up busts for the police department.
Okay.
And for the FBI and DEA, and he would do it so that he would profit.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And so he would tell the guy that, you know what, the police are, they're rushing right now. Why don't I take this money and disappear so you don't get arrested with it?
Okay.
And at that point, you go, well, you know what, I'll be in less trouble if he takes the drugs.
Yeah.
And just leaves a little bit there, and I'll get a shorter sentence.
Okay.
Well, he set a lot of people up.
Okay.
And there are people who were hunting him on the street when they got out of prison.
Sure.
So the FBI moved him over, gave him the name James Timothy Hoffman, and moved him over to Los Angeles.
Okay.
Where he was operating.
Okay.
And he would be involved in cases, and they were going to steal stuff, and he's also getting arrested because he's continuing to do what he does.
Right.
And so the prosecutor would say, look, judge, prosecutor, we don't want to do this guy because he's in a big case and there's a lot of money involved. And so he would sign a letter saying that he promises not to do drugs and not to smuggle and not to steal.
Crimes anymore, yeah.
And then he'd go do it again.
Yeah.
And one of those letters, I have that letter.
Is that right?
That where a prosecutor, they promises not going to be doing. And that was just a couple of months before the DeLorean case.
Oh, interesting. And you bring that up, and that, there's a whole host of problems with that as well. And that kind of, the use of an informant like that does breed corruption. And, certainly he was playing both ends against the middle, right? To get what he wanted. So in this particular case, though, the car that you were driving, you had a couple 100 pounds of cocaine in it, correct?
65 pounds.
Oh, okay, 65 pounds of cocaine. And where was it? Where in Los Angeles was it going?
Well, I was supposed to be going to the Marriott Hotel on Century Boulevard by the airport.
Okay.
And I did not deliver that car.
Okay.
I was driving the car across the United States, so it was the one time I finally got away from him.
Okay.
And
when you say him, you're talking about
Morgan Hetrick.
Got it. Okay.
And I'm looking to get out.
Okay.
And so when I got to Los Angeles, I called him up, and he told me to deliver the car.
Okay.
And I said, no, I'll deliver the keys
Okay.
to the car.
Okay.
And so I went to the hotel,
Okay.
and a couple of men come down with him.
Okay.
And he says, they're mafia,
Okay.
and they have guns.
Okay.
You need to take them to the drug car.
Okay.
And so we went to the drug car,
Okay.
and I think these guys are going to kill me.
Right.
Because I just told them, I abandoned the car.
Okay.
And that was a lot of cocaine to
For sure.
abandon.
Still,
And I
there's a
thought,
lot of cocaine today too. Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I thought, this is it, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking for an opportunity to run.
Okay.
And when we get to where the drug car is, suddenly a dozen men come running out of the darkness with the guns.
And they were the cops.
They were a DEA and FBI.
Got it. So they must have been following you if they knew where the car was at.
Well, and James Hoffman, the foreman, is sitting in the back seat.
I see.
So it's, they were totally in charge. In fact, Hoffman was running the case, the
Okay.
informant.
Okay. So who was supposed to be in that hotel room?
Well, in that hotel room, it was just going to be the people with the money,
All right.
but it was, in fact, the DEA and FBI. They had the money.
Okay.
And that's when they arrested me on the street.
Yeah.
They arrested Morgan in that courtroom.
Yeah.
But then it went to another room,
Okay.
and in that room was John Z. DeLorean,
Got it.
was the executive vice president of General Motors,
Uh-huh.
the inventor and developer and producer of the DeLorean car.
Right.
And he had some problems in life.
Sure.
He had received a lot of money from the British government.
Uh-huh.
And
And this was over the manufacturing DeLorean vehicles, right?
yes,
In
and giving jobs to
Yeah.
people in Belfast. And,
Yeah.
it was to help the people.
Yeah, he subsidized the government had subsidized a lot of that, correct?
Yes.
And it wasn't panning out the way he had.
Well, he had pilfered the equivalent of $18 million.
Okay.
And Margaret Thatcher was super angry.
Who was the prime minister at the time?
And she wanted his head on her wall.
Okay.
And her good buddy was Ronnie Reagan.
Yeah. Okay.
And Ronnie Reagan agreed to set up a task force to get John DeLorean.
How interesting.
And James Hoffman, this guy's a con guy. He's an artist at
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
And he set up the whole case.
Okay.
And what he did is they needed somebody with cocaine.
Right.
And he had been a partner of Morgan Hetrick, the guy I worked for.
Okay.
And so he set up Morgan Hetrick to deliver the cocaine, John DeLorean to deliver the money,
Okay.
and then they arrested everybody.
Got it. All right. I want to unpack that. So, again, as time goes by, as I was prepping for this podcast, I asked a number of people if they knew who John DeLorean was. Older people tend to know who John DeLorean was. Some of the younger people that I talked to didn't have a clue. Then when I would say the DeLorean car, they go, oh, okay. And when I'd say, the car in the Back to the Future, they go, oh, yeah, that's the car that we're talking about. Right. Exactly. But you're right. That was a revolutionary new concept in automobiles at the time, right?
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. And
Underpowered.
Okay. But, I mean, the way the doors open and all those kinds of things, I mean, there was
Stainless steel body.
a lot of fanfare around that whole thing, right?
Big time. Huge.
And he was a successful car manufacturing executive.
He was a mogul in the industry.
Yeah.
And he was a playboy.
And
he
struck out on his own.
Yeah. He was well known and he was famous and he was going places.
Yeah.
But he had an $18 million debt that he had to try to clear.
All of this because of the lackluster sales based on the production of the car that was coming out of Belfast,
and
right?
his lifestyle.
Right. Okay.
He wasn't making enough money.
Yeah. Okay.
And so Hoffman set him up that I have investors who will invest a lot of money in your automobile company and what you're doing, but it was all a lie. And
So I want to understand that deal a little bit. And what's interesting about what you said is it's almost like, I think I can't remember who I'm quoting, but essentially it's this notion of show me the person and I'll show you the crime. It sounds like that's what was going on with him. He wanted a big target, John DeLorean, right?
Right.
And put all the pieces together. So Hoffman was the guy who had the connection with Morgan.
Right.
And of course, you're associated with Morgan by virtue of this, employment relationship.
Correct.
Right. And so, how does he entice DeLorean? How does DeLorean get involved in that?
Well, he had lived across the street from John DeLorean down in the San Diego area. He knew him.
I see. Okay.
And then he knew that John DeLorean needed money.
Got it.
It was in the papers that he needed money.
Yeah.
And so he pretended that they were better friends than they were. But he got an audience with John DeLorean, and he said, "Look, I can bring in $100 million.
Just sell a little cocaine, and all your troubles will go away."
No, he didn't tell him that.
Really? Okay.
He said, "No, I have investors who are going to put the money up, but you're going to have to put some seed money up, like $1.8 million.
Okay.
That's what he's going to try to pocket that."
I see. Okay.
And so it's just he's manipulating him, and then John DeLorean, who's a smart guy, figures out that there's something wrong with this.
Okay.
Who are these people? He says, "I want out." He says, "You can't get out. Why not? It's the cartel."
Right.
And if you try to, you're in this, and if you try to get out now, you're going to get your daughter's little girl's head in a paper bag.
Yeah. And those threats are legit. Those are real. They do that kind of thing.
Yes.
So yeah. All right. So you get arrested. Morgan gets arrested, and DeLorean gets arrested.
Yes.
I'm sure that there was an offer on the table from the feds if you were to cooperate, tell people what you know, that they'd go easier on you. Is that a fair statement?
Well, what they threatened me with.
Okay.
And as you know better than anybody.
Okay.
You don't get just one count.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I had all these counts, crossing international state lines, the RICO Act, which is no parole. And so they totaled it up for me. You're looking at 144 years in prison.
Okay.
And that means you're going to die.
Yeah. Life
prison.
sentence, a virtual life sentence.
But you need to cooperate.
Okay.
And that's not how I saw it.
Okay.
I did not want to cooperate against other people. I was prepared to cooperate against myself.
Okay.
But you go through, because I never made any money at this.
Right. Okay. Right.
Talk about stupid.
Okay.
But
took all the risk, never made any of it.
Well, I supposedly had $50,000 coming.
Okay.
And Morgan Hetrick used that to get an attorney for me.
Okay, all right.
And the attorney that he got me was wonderful. Became one of my best friends, Rick Barnett, down in San Diego.
Okay.
And he said, "By the way, just so you know, I don't represent snitches."
Oh, okay.
And I said, "Well, it's okay. I'm not a snitch."
All right.
And my attitude on that, Sheriff, is realize I'm on the wrong side of the law.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be there.
Right.
That was not my idea, but it was my choices that led me there. And there are other people who wind up in that. And when somebody walks the criminal waltz or dances the criminal waltz, that first step, and then you get swept away.
Right.
And the tune is being played by the devil.
Yeah.
And he likes to lead.
For sure.
And so you find yourself in a compromised position and you don't know how to get out. And I knew that there were other people that same way.
Yeah.
And for me to cooperate, it means that I'm going to trade working for the Medellin drug cartel and Pablo Escobar for working for the FBI and DEA to try to set other people up.
Yeah.
And what I wanted to do is I wanted to serve my time.
Okay.
And they're telling me, "Look, you have no idea what you're up against."
Yeah.
And they put a lot of effort into it. And also they were trying to get Pablo Escobar.
Sure.
Pablo Escobar was offered the opportunity for a $100 million investment to acquire the DeLorean motor car company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And he was thinking, he thinks very big.
Yeah.
And he was thinking that he could use that as a springboard to market cocaine into the European Union.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was his plan.
Okay, all right.
And the scary part of it is that he's putting up a whole bunch of money, and other members, executive members of the cartel, are putting money in. And if that money gets taken, which is what the FBI was up to, heads are going to get cut off.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I'm in something so dramatic that I have no idea how to handle it.
Right.
And while I was waiting for trial, I'm at the Los Angeles federal prison.
Okay.
And it's called Terminal Island,
right?
Which is interesting. Terminal.
Yeah, right.
Where I'm at.
Right.
And I'm there, and I'm trying to deal with what's going on. And I became.
This is all pre-trial before
It was
you.
all pre-trial.
Got it,
I have
okay.
not been to trial.
Okay.
I'm in a jail unit.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
And is that the first time? I know you went to the brig for a period of time, but
that was it. Once in the brig. And
Yeah.
now I'm in a federal
now
prison.
you're in federal jail, federal prison. Exactly
Yes.
right. Yeah, exactly right. That had to be a culture shock.
Oh yeah.
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 Trying to figure out what you're going to do, trying to figure out how you're going to live life now, and how you're going to survive in this new environment.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Survival's a very big, key. And not only that, not get hurt, not get attacked, not get physically abused.
Absolutely. Right.
And I was so pleased. I had studied martial arts and taught martial arts for a long time.
Okay.
And it gave me the confidence, but I didn't, you have people with weapons and you have large.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah.
You know what's going to happen to you.
Yeah.
And I was not raised a Christian,
Okay.
but I had been exposed by people who were concerned.
Okay.
And I wanted to know God,
Okay.
and I wasn't sure that God would be there for a felon in a prison cell.
Okay.
I didn't realize that for him,
That's where it's at.
that's where it's at.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
where he
That's the
wants to
place.
be.
Exactly. Yeah.
And as the orderly of the cell block, we had a soap opera fight. Are you familiar with the soap
I
opera?
am not.
It's when the inmates are not allowed to touch a channel.
Okay. I'm aware of TV etiquette. Right.
Okay.
Okay.
And I was, as an orderly, I could change the channel.
Okay. Very good. Okay.
And
okay.
so fights would break out.
Sure.
And one broke out. It was a young teenager, 19, 20 years old.
All right.
And he wanted to see a basketball score.
Okay.
And the older men were watching a soap opera.
Really?
Yeah, well,
All right.
the soap opera becomes the family you don't have.
Yeah, right.
It's your alternate reality.
That makes
This
sense.
is a big deal. It's important to him.
Sure. Sure.
And so this young man steps in front of these old men sitting down. And he says, I'm just going to check a basketball score. And he flips the channel.
Yeah.
Well, my mop bucket was in there, steel mop bucket with a
Okay.
ringer.
Yeah.
He pulled the pipe out.
Okay.
He ran it behind the kid. And he hit him alongside the skull with it.
Okay.
Fractured his skull.
Yeah.
And the cell block got locked down.
Sure.
And I got pulled out to clean up the mess.
Okay.
And there's blood everywhere.
Sure.
And I am mopping up the blood and putting it in this steel bucket. And then I push it down through the cell block to the deep sink room.
Uh-huh.
And the deep sink room was very contained. It was dark.
Yeah.
A yellow bulb and a rusty screen.
Okay.
And I take this mop bucket with a lot of water,
Yeah.
but it looks like a lot of blood.
Bloody water.
Bloody water. And
Yeah.
I start pouring it down the drain, and there was hair around the drain, and it's swirling down, and it was like a serpent's throat.
Really?
And suddenly, still facing 144 years in prison.
Right.
I suddenly knew I was going to die in prison.
Okay.
And I dropped the bucket. It just fell in. And I walked away, and the guard locked me back up my cell. And then he came back to get me to give out meals to the other lockdown inmates. And I forgot to get a meal for myself. And then locked me back in my cell, and I've got blood all over me.
Yeah.
I tried to wash it out in the little sink, but it didn't really work. And I'm on an upper bunk. Upper bunks are better because you can defend yourself from an upper bunk.
High ground advantage.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I got to thinking about God.
Okay.
And I had been exposed through friends to Christ. And there was something that I knew. The blood would set you free. And I thought, is God there for me?
Mm-hmm.
And I got out in my skivvies, and I get down on the concrete floor. And I look at the wall, and there's the shadows of jail bars.
Right.
And that's my reality. And I started to pray, not expecting an answer.
Okay.
And I don't remember the exact words, but it was, Father, are you there for someone as bad as me?
Mm-hmm.
Are you there? And this feeling, I didn't hear a word, but I felt this feeling flush through me. And if the feeling had a word, the word was always. And my life was changed in a heartbeat. Literally.
Right then.
In a heartbeat. God cared about me.
Yeah.
And I got back up on the bunk, and I prayed, and I wanted to stay awake and really think about this, and I fell into a deep sleep.
Okay.
And the next morning, I went out into this television room, and I got a Bible. I made sure I got a complete Bible.
Okay.
What happens is with the ones with the really thin paper,
Use them to smoke.
they roll cigarettes and joints out of
Exactly. Yeah.
that. And I started reading the Bible, and I became a different person
Wow.
in prison.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure what was going to happen to me. But what happened is that they have something in poker that's called all in.
Right.
You can't.
Yeah.
So you put it all in. Maybe
Yeah.
the watch off your ring, your ring,
Yeah.
your necklace. It all goes in. You're
Yeah.
all in. And they had sent an undercover FBI agent in to see me,
Okay.
pretending to be an inmate.
Right. To get you to talk.
He says, "Look, you need to come out of here. There's a gentleman who wants to kill you, and you know about it. That's why you got moved to this jail unit instead of another jail unit. And you're going to do the rest of your life in prison, and you're probably not going to serve it all out. In the RICO Act, you'll never get parole. You need to cooperate." And I told him no.
Okay.
And they figured that that's my only plan I could have, was
Yeah.
to cooperate.
Yeah.
I had a different plan.
Okay.
It was called surrender to God.
Okay.
And I felt that if I completely surrendered to him, truly,
Yeah.
and made a difference in my life, if I was all in for God, that he would look out for me.
Okay.
And miracles began to occur.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Miracle after miracle after miracle.
Okay.
All kinds of things happened. But let's go to the court-ish side.
Yeah. Right. Right.
okay?
Because you got this sentence looming, this thing hanging over your head.
So they offered
Yeah.
me a deal,
Okay.
and it was to plead guilty to 2 counts, conspiracy and intent.
All right.
Each carry a 15-year sentence.
Okay.
And so I figured, okay, 30 years, okay, maybe 20.
Well, it's better than 144, but still, that's a long time.
That's
right?
a long time.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then when I went before the judge and I pled guilty, and I had a little thing I had written up and said how I felt and everything. And then the prosecutor, the assistant prosecutor, got up, and he violated the terms of our agreement.
Really?
Yeah, he told the judge that I had co-piloted a plane to Colombia, that I had not cooperating, that I was fighting, that I was supporting the criminals,
Okay.
that this involved the highest levels of the drug world, and that
Yeah.
I was just looking to get back and go to work for them some more.
Right.
And Judge Robert Takasugi said, "Well, let me ask you a couple questions. Not me,
Yeah.
the assistant prosecutor." And he said, "Did Steve wind up with any money from this?" "No." Did he benefit in any way? "No." And I had met with a parole officer,
Okay.
very attractive woman. I only point out that she was attractive because I'm in a cell block, and I'm meeting with an attractive woman in the cell block.
Okay.
And I told her that I was ready to plead guilty,
Yeah.
that I wanted to get my life started again. And she said, "What type of a sentence are you expecting?" I said, "Well, I'm praying for 5 years."
Okay.
She goes, "That's a rather substantial sentence." I said, "Well, I do deserve to be punished. I'm in the Department of Corrections for a reason,
Yeah.
and 5 years is enough for me to serve the time that I'd owe,
Sure.
but not be changed as a human being."
Okay.
And the judge had received a lot of letters. A lot of people supported me. Lots of letters, and I had from my military awards and things that I had gotten,
Yeah.
life-saving and such. And the judge, he gave me 5 years for count 1,
Okay.
and he gave me 5 years for count 2,
Okay.
and then he said the sentence will be served concurrently.
Okay. So 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
And with good time, that means I could get out in maybe 3.5, 4 years.
Sure. Okay.
And so I went from being in the cell block
Yeah.
out to general prison population.
Okay.
I got a job in the recreation department because I wanted to do a job that made people happy.
Okay.
And I started to become known to the staff, and something happened that just doesn't happen. Termaline has like 1,000 inmates in it.
Okay.
And I'm a new person out in the yard.
Yeah.
And I haven't been out in the yard very, very long.
Right.
And they moved me to the honor dorm.
Right off the bat?
No, but I mean, very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah. Because that takes a while.
Well, it usually does take
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, there was only 20 slots available.
Sure.
But I was really working to prove myself that I accept that I deserve punishment.
Yeah.
I want to turn my life around.
Yeah.
I'm working jobs,
Yeah.
not to make much money, but just to do it. And when I went before the judge for sentencing, the 28 men in the cell block signed a letter saying that Steve is working really hard to keep us a better environment for us.
Wow.
We're all under stress. That was amazing to have that letter.
For sure.
But he received a lot of other letters, and he had I had stopped the launch of an F-14 that was configured in a way that if it had been launched, they would have died.
Back when you were in the military.
Back when I was in the military.
Got it. Right. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
And I had received letters from the Secretary of State,
Okay.
and because
Yeah.
a lot of accomplishment.
Again, back this stellar career that you had.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
And that's why the judge was able to give me 5 years.
Yeah.
And so I returned to the prison, trying to do the best that I possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got sent to a prison camp
Okay.
in the Mojave Desert.
So I want to back up real quick because you talk about being in prison and you're very quickly being put into positions where you're in leadership positions almost within the prison, right?
Which causes jealousy.
Which causes jealousy, exactly. And there are all kinds. Prison politics is a
Concrete
dangerous
walled jungle.
Yeah, and
where primate logic rules.
right, and it's hard to navigate prison politics, right?
Yes.
It is hard to walk in there and essentially choose your own path because there's risks with choosing your own path, right?
Yes.
You're going to constantly have people essentially telling you, if you're not with us, then you're against us and you're going to be prey for everybody else, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How did you resist that?
Well, for one thing, I went to bed really early.
Okay. All right.
And then got up really early.
Okay.
And practiced my martial arts.
Okay.
And other
What kind
stuff.
of martial arts did you practice?
4 types.
Okay, which were?
Taekwondo, Muay
Okay.
Kung Fu, not Kung Fu, but Kung Fu.
Okay.
And Filipino Eskrima.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So you're basically keeping your head down, not, staying out of people's way, doing your thing, trying to run your own program.
And I got the best job at TI, Terminal Island Prison.
Which was?
Projectionist in the movie theater.
Oh, okay. 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 And that was part of the entertainment thing that you were talking about.
Yeah, and what I would do up there is I would, they had an old 1940s or 50s projector with big platters, and I knew how to run that.
Okay.
Because I'd been an usher when I was a kid.
Okay. All right.
And so it was the only door that an inmate could lock and be behind it.
By themselves.
By themselves.
Got it. Yeah.
And so I would show the movies.
Okay.
And I had a pretty good life as an inmate. The prison was right next to the Los Angeles Harbor.
Yeah.
And on Christmas, the boats would go up and down, all lit up with lights and everything.
Okay.
And I was by the ocean that I loved.
Sure.
And then I'm in the honor dorm, and been in the honor dorm for 2 months. And suddenly the door flies open really early in the morning, and the guard says, "Arrington, you're moving."
Okay.
I said, "Where am I going?" "You're going to the desert, boy."
Going to the desert.
And they gave me a
box. Had you put in for a change or anything?
I had talked about that I would like to go to the Mojave.
Got it. Okay.
Because they had a fire crew there.
Got it. Okay.
And I wanted to become an inmate firefighter.
Okay. All right.
And so they sent me up to boring boron.
Okay.
And while you're there, you go through orientation.
Yeah.
And I met with the unit manager who gives you job assignments.
Okay.
And he said, and he did not like big house inmates.
Okay.
I was a big house inmate.
Okay. What does that mean?
It means I came from a prison. It's an honor camp. People check in.
Understand. Okay.
White collar crime.
Right.
And so
was concerned that you bring that prison politics with you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so he said, dishwasher or plumber?
Okay.
And I said, well, sir, actually, I'd like to be an inmate firefighter.
Okay.
And he goes, I didn't say firefighter. I said, no, I did. He goes, no, you shut up. You're a troublemaker.
Right. Okay.
He said, you're a dishwasher.
Okay.
Okay. No. He said, you're a plumber. That's so he came up right then and there. He said, you're a plumber, and get out of my office.
Okay.
And I said, but I want to be an inmate firefighter. He says, you have to be in the honor dorm. I said, I was in the honor dorm at the prison. He said, it doesn't matter. You have to be in the honor dorm here, and I can guarantee you're not going into the honor dorm.
Right.
You're a plumber.
Okay.
And so I went up to the plumbing shop.
Yeah.
And I was there for about 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I made an appointment with the safety officer who was in charge of the fire department.
Okay.
And I sat down with him. I said, sir, I want to be a fireman more than anything, because I used to drive an emergency vehicle in the Navy.
Yeah.
I was a machinist mate chief. I know how to repair the fire trucks. I have the right attitude. I've led men in teams.
Right.
I have skills. But I'll promise you this, I'll be the first one here every morning. I'll be the last one to leave. I'll have a smile on my face. I'll get along with everybody, and I won't cause you any problems whatsoever.
Yeah.
But I will be the best firefighter you've ever had.
Okay.
And the next day I was moved into the honor dorm.
Okay.
Because you had to be in the honor dorm because you're going to be leaving the prison camp.
Yeah.
And I was on the fire crew.
Wow. Now, when we, so people in California, I think, generally when they think of inmate firefighters, they're thinking about wildland firefighters. And that happens, California Department of Corrections, CDCR, has wildland firefighter crews that are deployed in fuzz. But this was a full-fledged fire department.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. 2 trucks?
Yeah, similar to way like a city fire department would be, correct?
Well, small town.
Okay, small town.
We only had four of us on the crew.
Okay.
And when I first left that prison, riding on the back of a 1948 Knack fire truck, hanging on.
Yeah.
And I had all kinds of problems. My mask, the stuff didn't fit. And,
sure. Okay.
I got pantsed by the wind.
Okay.
As we're driving.
Okay.
But we were a primary response for a 20-mile radius of the camp.
Because you were the closest fire department.
That's all they had.
Yeah.
And so we responded to accidents.
Okay.
And other situations.
Yeah.
And we saved lives.
Yeah. How long were you how long did you have that assignment while you were in?
Over a year.
Over a year. Okay.
But what happened is I was on the crew for about 3 months.
Okay.
And then the inmate chief engineer got released from prison.
Okay.
And the inmates vote for who's going to be the chief engineer.
Okay.
And one of the senior guy walked up to the pegs where the turnouts were hanging.
Yeah.
And he pulled off my yellow helmet and set it down, and he set down the chief engineer's helmet on my peg.
Really?
They picked me to be their chief engineer.
Okay.
And I met with the safety officer, and he says, I let them pick, and they can ask you to leave, too.
Yeah, okay.
So,
it's an honorary position.
I got to drive a fire truck out of the prison camp 17 times, red light and siren.
Really?
With a guard riding next to me.
Okay. All right.
And the interesting part of this is he's in charge of us.
Right.
He's not in charge of firefighting.
Yeah.
I'm in charge of the firefighting.
Right.
And I was up on the hill, and it gives you an indication of what type of a person I was trying to be and had become. I had taught CPR and first aid for the Red Cross for 18 years.
Yeah.
And so I was teaching CPR up in the education building up on the hill of the prison camp, where we had a radar dome, which plays a significant role. And suddenly the guard's radio belches, inmate fire crew respawn down military aircraft.
Okay.
Never did we ever get called like that. A siren would sound. I'd jump in the fire truck, start it up, San Bernardino command to tell me where I'm going.
Right.
I run outside of the education building. I drive to the firehouse. I pick up the rest of the inmates. We respond from the camp with 4 vehicles. There is a smoke cloud going thousands of feet into the air, being circled by an Air Force fighter.
Okay.
Something big had gone down 6 miles from the camp.
Okay.
I had to drive that fire truck across open, rugged desert terrain.
Okay.
And it was a town fire truck.
Right,
It wasn't an
exactly.
off-road vehicle.
Yeah.
And I made it.
Okay.
And the safety officer was riding next to me, and he sees the aircraft, and there's the cockpit here, and then downwind is where the plane crashed.
Yeah.
And it's coming towards that cockpit, and he says it broke apart. They're dead. I go, no, that's a B-1A supersonic bomber, and the whole crew goes out in an ejection pod.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ejection pod.
Okay.
But the hatch was closed, so I knew they were in trouble. And so I took the fire truck and I pulled it right in between the fire and the pod, and we contained the fire. Air Force came in with all kinds of a dozen helicopters, security people, everything else. We saved the crew.
Wow.
That was an amazing moment.
Yeah.
And I was so grateful. But see, here's the big gift for me from God, is I had asked God, I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Can I get out now?
Okay.
No.
All right.
Yeah, but I no.
Yeah.
But what he did.
Not yet.
But what happened is my team, each bomb disposal team specializes in skills. Ours was aircraft carriers and military aircraft.
Okay. I
knew all the explosive hazards on that aircraft.
Okay.
I knew what we were up against.
Okay.
And so we saved 2 crew members.
Yeah.
And we were heroes at the prison camp.
Yeah.
But the Air Force didn't think we were heroes because when the San Bernardino Command contacted me, what type of aircraft? I said B-1A supersonic bomber.
Yeah.
And I broke the news, and New York was calling the fire department. So
Yeah.
I was in big trouble. They pulled me off the fire crew.
Really?
Yeah, they did. Well, I deserved it. I was a kind of a rogue for authority.
Okay.
But then they put me back on because they had a motorhome that the new chief engineer didn't know how to prime the pump.
Okay. Okay.
And so they called me in after pulling me off the fire crew, put me back in the plumbing shop, and they said, Mr. Arrington, I don't know what they called me that.
Yeah.
We want you to go back on the fire crew.
Okay.
We want you to train the crew, and we've voted to send you to an early halfway house.
Oh.
You're getting out of prison early.
Okay. Okay.
And so things happened,
Yeah.
and we don't need to get into all that stuff, but I got support. A highway patrolman
Yeah.
had asked me what I wanted to do when I got out of prison. I said I wanted to go to work at the College of Oceaneering as an instructor.
Okay.
And he said, do you have the qualifications? I did.
Yeah.
I had all the qualifications, but I was a felon.
Yeah.
And so my release date comes.
Yeah.
I'm released from prison. My brother picks me up, drives me down to Long Beach area, Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And I go in to meet my parole officer.
Mm-hmm.
And when I met my parole officer for the very first time, he said, I want you to go to the College of Oceaneering and apply for a job.
Okay.
And I said, well, do you think they'll hire me? He said, that's doubtful,
Okay.
but I want you to try. And so I went to the College of Oceaneering, and I met with Tom Mix, that was his real name,
Yeah.
and I told him I just got out of prison, I'm a felon.
Yeah.
And but I had all these skills, and I let him know what I did. And he says, okay, you're hired. I said, wait a minute, when I walked in here, you told me you weren't looking for anybody.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not. He said, I actually knew I was already going to hire you. He said, look at all these letters I got from the prison, I got from the highway patrol, I got from your judge.
Right.
And so you're our new basic physics instructor.
Wow.
And so I wanted to talk to kids.
Okay.
And I'm working with young adults.
Yeah.
And I had things that I really wanted to share. And I am a very, very, very committed Christian at this time.
Right.
And to make a long story short, one of the students was cheating on a project.
All right.
It weighed 300 pounds.
Okay.
He made it unstable to get a better time,
Okay.
and it fell on him.
Oh, no.
And it knocked his diving helmet off of his head
Okay.
and drove him face down in the mud, and he proceeds to die.
Oh, no.
It was recorded 8.5 minutes without air.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
You don't come back from that.
No.
When we got him to the surface, or they got him, the rescue divers got him to the surface, I was the one who grabbed him, pulled him on the barge. He was black from too much CO2.
Okay.
And he was flaccid, his eyes were fixed and staring.
Yeah.
But I did what I was trained to do. And as I got down to do mouth-to-mouth on him, I said, Father, in my head,
Yeah.
it's too late for me, it's never too late for you. Let it be your breath, not mine.
Okay.
Your breath. And I did CPR for a number of minutes, about 20 before the fire department arrived. And then they took him away from us. They got him on O2, and they got him in the ambulance. And while they're transporting, he starts breathing.
Really? Wow.
They get him to a hyperbaric facility up in Northridge. And the next night, he's in a coma as expected. He woke up with his mother sitting next to him.
Oh, wow.
Returned to the College of Oceaneering, graduated from his class.
Wow.
It was the second class.
Yeah.
And I got an award. I already told you I didn't have a good childhood.
Okay.
I wanted a father like Ronnie Reagan.
Okay. Okay.
I used to watch him on 20 Mule Team Boron
Right.
on the 3 channels of TV, black and white.
Yeah.
And he talked about patriotism and things that I really valued. I kind of thought I looked a little bit like him. I wanted him for a father.
Okay.
And the American Red Cross gave me their highest award for life-saving, the Certificate of Merit, and it was signed by Ronald Reagan,
Oh, is that
President
right?
Reagan.
How interesting.
And what
I think I saw that. There's a picture of that in the book, correct?
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
yes, it's all there.
Yeah, yeah.
And what that meant to me is that, first of all, you know, when you're wearing the coveralls of a felon, your sins are on the outside.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who you are.
Yeah.
When you put on the uniform of a hero,
Yeah.
firefighter,
Yeah.
you're a different person.
Yeah.
And getting that award from Ronnie Reagan, I wanted to speak at schools, but I was too ashamed.
Okay.
Well, but then I started going to the schools and talking to them, saying, look,
Yeah.
this is my background. I want to talk to kids about choices. I'm not going to say anything wrong. I'm not going to glorify what I did.
For sure.
I'm going to tell it like it is
Yeah.
and try to encourage them to make right choices.
Yeah.
And we had somebody who was with the Cousteau Society as a chief diver named Don Santee.
Okay.
And he came down and he sat in my diving medicine class.
Okay.
And I, like every other diver that met him, I said, hey, if you ever need a diver, I'd love to go to work for you.
Yeah.
And he called me up 2 weeks later on the phone, and he said, Steve, he said, quit your job. I want you to come to work for me as a chief diver and expedition leader. You got the skills. I've already checked you out.
Yeah.
And so I gave notice. I had to go see the parole officer.
Okay.
And ask him if I could go off special parole to go travel the world and dive with whales, dolphins, and sharks with the Cousteaus.
Right.
And the prosecutor signed off on my special parole.
Which is no small feat. I mean, that's a pretty challenging thing to get approved.
This is the miracle of being a surrendered, practicing Christian.
Okay. All right.
And one of the highway patrolmen
Yeah.
is the one who sent the letters. He went down and he got letters from the people at the prison.
Yeah.
And he put a package together and he sent it down to the president of the College Oceaneering. And he said, by the way, he said, I want you to hire Steve.
Yeah.
You're going to love him. Even the unit manager wrote a thing for me. And he said, by the way, you know your license number. You can't drive my desert if you don't hire him. And they hired me.
Yeah.
And that's how I got
So
that job.
the 12-year-old boy, right, who wanted to dive for Jacques Cousteau, right? Mm-hmm. I'm sure that you never thought the path that you would take to get to that would lead you where you did, right?
Exactly.
But you know, there was a couple of points, and you know, going back to you being having the specialized knowledge and skill that you had about that particular aircraft when you responded as an inmate firefighter, right? You were the perfect person to respond to that emergency at that particular time, right?
It was a gift to me from God.
Yeah, right. And then, you know, fast forward, and, you know, I've heard it said, and I believe it wholeheartedly, is that, you know, if you believe in God or you know, a power higher than you, you know, you will always get what you need, sometimes get what you want, but oftentimes it won't be the way you think you want it, right?
Yeah, and it's how are you going to work for him?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
for
yeah.
you know, your fellow people.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I absolutely know
Yeah.
that God arranged for me to become a chief diver and expedition leader for the Cousteau Society. I'm in charge of a French ship with a French crew.
Yeah.
I don't speak French.
Right.
And I'm a felon.
Right.
And a lot of people think that, you know, you serve your time, you're not a felon. No, you are a felon.
Yeah.
I'm a felon for life.
Yeah.
And I started going to schools.
Yeah.
And
to talk to kids, to try to explain to them about making good choices and trying to redeem, right, yourself and pay back, right?
I had and have a debt to society.
Okay.
I have a debt to God.
Right.
And this is the toughest time ever to be a young person growing up in America today.
Wholeheartedly agree with you.
And when you look at families, is that very often the families split up.
Yeah.
There's what mom is trying to raise the kids.
Yeah.
And grandma and grandpa live 500 miles away.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get, you know, make something of yourself. And so I was working at telling the young people about dreams.
Yeah.
And I tell them that, look, I'm a felon.
Yeah.
I was in prison. I showed them the pictures of me in prison.
Sure.
And by working really hard and being focused and doing good things for other people,
Yeah.
and working for God and believing in Him, I got to dive with whales, dolphins,
Yeah.
and sharks.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Yeah.
And I would speak to kindergartners
Yeah.
about choices. I was speaking in youth lockups, adult prisons,
Yeah.
colleges, 1,400 plus assemblies.
So that's the piece that I want to, because you've had some incredible experiences, and some people might go, well, yeah, I mean, he had all the breaks and he had all the great times, but there were things that you were doing constantly to try to pay that debt, right?
Yes.
And, you know, setting up a foundation, right, that you've
Yes.
got, right?
Uh-huh.
And tell us a little bit about the foundation that you got.
Well, my wife, with Cousteau, I went
Yeah.
to Fiji in the
Okay.
South Pacific, and I fell in love with the Fijians.
Okay.
And then I'm a Seventh-day Adventist Christian.
Okay.
And we have more hospitals and medical centers than other denomination of our size.
Okay.
And people started asking me to take them diving.
Okay.
They said, you know the best places to dive.
Right,
I said,
right,
well,
right.
Fiji.
Okay.
And Jean-Michel Cousteau had a resort in Fiji.
Yeah.
And so my plan was to take dentists and physicians, nurses,
Yeah.
on mission trips, and we were going to donate our time at this small plantation hospital that really needed help.
Sure.
I mean, they had blood on the beds
Okay.
and
Right,
such.
right.
It was,
Yeah.
they didn't have much.
Yeah.
And for the people to go on the trip, they had to pay their own way, but they also had to pay for the mission trip.
Sure. And they had to give back.
They had to give back.
Yeah.
And so it worked out phenomenally. And I'm going to try to be brief with this because this could go on, Sheriff, for hours.
Okay.
Is we were saving lives.
Yeah.
We were delivering babies.
Yeah.
We were fixing teeth.
Mm-hmm.
We were restoring vision. People who were blind could see again.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that for 29 years now.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I really regretted in life was losing my title of being a chief.
Okay.
And while I'm still in prison, I become chief engineer.
Right.
God gave that back to me.
Yeah.
And then I get out of prison, I go to work at the College of Oceaneering as air diving supervisor, and I get hired by Captain Jacques Cousteau as a chief diver
Okay.
and expedition leader.
Yeah.
And this boggled my mind.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that who is mine being a chief? Who is that important to?
Yeah.
Just me.
Right.
And he cared enough to do that. And it goes back to how it all started. All in for God.
Yeah.
Fully surrendered.
Yeah.
Use me, Father.
Right.
Use me. And it so happened that, well, I need you to go have adventures so you can tell them to kids.
Sure.
And in Fiji, this is everything in my book.
Mm-hmm.
It's all in there.
Okay. Yeah.
And the introduction is written by who?
The prosecutor.
The prosecutor.
The guy that sent you to prison.
Yeah. And Jean-Michel Cousteau.
Yeah.
Well, I sent myself to prison.
Well, you're right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And but it authenticates what I write about.
Yeah.
And the thing that I'm dealing with now is we had a chief who was having a heart condition.
Uh-huh.
And we flew him to California, and we got him on medication and a profile for working out and everything. Yeah. And then he had a stroke.
Yeah.
So we flew him back, and we flew 7 Fijians for life and limb saving surgeries. He's one of them.
Okay.
I didn't know who he really was.
Okay.
And he is now the president of Fiji.
Really?
Yeah. He's the top
yeah.
man.
Yeah.
And he's also, I do him as Tui de Cow.
Okay.
And the Fiji, our missionaries will go, what, cow?
Uh-huh.
No, don't ever say that. It has nothing to do with the bovine.
Yeah.
It means that he's a very high chief.
Okay.
No, it means that he's the king. I didn't know this.
Yeah.
He's the king of the northern islands of Fiji.
Wow.
And he's told me that he thinks I saved his life.
Is that right?
Yeah, but I go, no.
Yeah.
His name's Ratu Nagamalalavu.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't save your life. I'm a guy standing at a door of a mission field, and it's the physicians, it's the nurses, it's the dentists, it's the volunteers, it's the donors, but primarily it's Jesus Christ saved your life, not me.
Okay.
And he goes, Steve, I wouldn't be sitting in this office but for you. What can I do for you?
Uh-huh.
Tell me what I can do for you.
Okay.
And I would like to become the special advisor to the president of Fiji.
Okay.
Because I want to recruit. I want to get colleges, and I want to get missionaries.
Yeah.
And we've taken well over 1,000 missionaries to Fiji already.
Yeah.
And we're saving lives. We're working in the bush.
Yeah.
We opened up medical facilities in the most remote areas.
Yeah.
And they go, well, how are you ever going to make money? We don't make money. It's
Right.
all free.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I was made a chief again.
Wow.
And the king was coming to dedicate our clinic.
Uh-huh.
That was the clinic we had opened up at a school, and he couldn't make it.
Okay.
And so they have everything set up for the king to arrive, and he's not coming.
Okay.
And they have all these gifts, and so somebody has to sit in that throne.
Okay.
And the chiefs, I'm sure they're going, put the stupid white boy in it.
Okay.
Because they could get in trouble.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I sat in the king's throne, and they made me a high chief.
Okay.
Now, when I say that, afterwards I said to the elder who oversaw it all, I said, wait a minute. I said, I'm not really, I'm a chief of nobody and nothing.
Yeah.
And he goes, yes, you're all, but you got a lot of face today.
For sure.
Reputation.
Yeah.
And so I am the high chief of Boothia Bay, but I don't have any authority except for what the people give me.
I get it.
And during a coup attempt,
Uh-huh.
I got to use that authority to protect people.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got to. The elder said, "Man, you really are a chief," and that's what God has done.
Recurring theme. Yeah, it keeps coming back.
Keeps coming back,
Yeah.
and so this is what I want to say right now:
Okay.
is there are people out there who are listening to this,
Sure.
and it may be a mom or
Yeah.
a grandma with some kids who's making bad choices,
Yeah.
and they may be heading for prison,
Yeah.
and they hear all the stories.
Yeah.
How do you cope? Buy him a Bible,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
And make sure that he starts to really read this and get him a mentor, a Christian mentor.
Okay.
And it's not just Christian. It
Yeah.
can be, you need a higher calling than yourself.
Yes.
Whatever your denomination, whatever your religion, as long as it's about good.
Yeah.
And when you go to prison, do good.
Yeah.
Just do good for everybody and anybody.
Yeah.
I was in the cell block, and we had a guy called Shorty,
Okay.
5 foot tall,
Okay.
bank robber.
Yeah.
It was a lousy bank robber. They never thought he was for real.
Okay.
And so
Right.
by the time they could convince him he's a bank robber, he gets arrested.
Right. Okay.
And so Shorty wants to know everybody's business.
Okay.
And he's not a popular guy
Which is a dangerous thing to do in prison.
in prison.
Yeah.
But I was polite.
Okay.
I was nice to him. I was nice to everybody.
Yeah.
And a guy comes in the cell block. And I'm not sentenced yet.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Hey, I hear Arrington's here. Boy, he's going to rat out DeLorean for sure." He just called me a snitch.
Right. Which is not good for you in prison either.
No. And I have to do something physically
Right.
to him, or then I'm going to be considered a punk.
Correct.
And Shorty rode to the rescue for me.
Okay.
He like, you're talking about my friend. He's not a snitch. You
Okay.
apologize to him right now. He looked at me and said, "Well, dude, I'm sorry."
Avoided the conflict.
He saved me.
Yeah.
He saved me.
Yeah.
Do good for other people. And when you're in a supermarket
Yeah.
and you've got a cashier checking you through,
Yeah.
look her or him in the eyes and smile with your eyes and acknowledge him as a human being.
Yeah.
And do that with all the people you meet.
Sure.
And for me, I'm always praying, what can I do today?
Yeah.
How can I help someone today? How can I make a difference?
That's incredible, and I agree wholeheartedly. And I think that probably is what ultimately led to another piece of this story that I want to touch on before we conclude today, and that is the pardon. You were pardoned in 2017 by Barack Obama, got a federal pardon, and I think that's an interesting thing because the pardons by presidents has become at least within the last year or so, something of a sensational headline. There have been pardons granted both by Biden and Trump that are questionable at best and probably not warranted in many cases. And I think that the public really has probably gotten a bad taste in their mouth about pardons and probably doesn't understand. The fact of the matter is the majority of people who actually get a pardon have had to work so hard to show that they walked the road of redemption.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. How long did it take that process? How long did that take?
Over
for
20
you?
years.
Over 20 years. Exactly.
Over 20 years. And when I was speaking at a school,
Yeah.
and if the principal said, "Hey, wow, I really loved what you did," then write a letter to the
Yeah,
pardon
yeah,
attorney.
yeah.
And they got lots of letters. The
Yeah.
judge was one of my sponsors.
Yeah.
The prosecutor wrote a letter.
Yeah.
And he wrote the introduction to my book.
Yeah.
When you are really focused on doing good work, and you wind up with people around you.
For sure.
And then now, when I got my pardon, Obama only gave out 206 pardons in 8 years.
Which is, I mean, when you think about the number of people that were convicted of the same crime that you were convicted of, right?
Right.
I mean, that's pretty remarkable. And, granted, I do think that there is, and when you were talking before, I think there's some luck associated with anybody who gets a pardon, right? Because somehow your name has to rise to the top.
Except I use the word blessed.
Okay, blessed. Fair enough. Exactly right. Yeah, right. Somehow, of all the probably thousands and thousands of people that were convicted of the same thing that you were convicted of, your name rose to the top. Now, there was a whole body of good work that helped propel that up.
Tons.
Right.
Tons.
And even the fact that your co-defendant, if you will, was somebody who was as noteworthy as John DeLorean, had you not done the good work that you did for those 20 years, had you not had the body of work behind you, that wouldn't, under normal circumstances, have resulted in you getting a pardon.
Exactly. And it's a 20-year period of time.
Right. Right.
And when I got the phone call, and this is important, Sheriff.
Yeah.
When I got the phone call, I see the area code 212.
Okay.
It's Washington.
Right.
And I
Right.
go, you know, this kind of little thrill goes through
For
you.
sure. For sure.
And I pick it up, and a man with a very authoritative voice
Okay.
said, "Mr. Arrington, my name's so and so. I'm the pardon attorney
Yeah.
for Barack Obama, and I'm signing your pardon
Okay.
right now." And I go, "Is this for real?"
Right. Right. Right.
And he goes, "Oh yes, Stephen, this
Yeah.
is very, very real. I have known you for the entire time.
Uh-huh.
I have been you've been on my list.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
taking care of, and I have been rooting for you."
Yeah.
And he was excited to do it, and I bawled.
Yeah. I bet. I can only imagine.
And it's only rare now that I can actually tell the story
Yeah.
and not cry.
Yeah.
But there is so much work to it. But let me say this. A pardon restores your citizenship, as you know.
Yes.
It doesn't eliminate, I'm still a felon.
Yeah. Absolutely. I understand that. You're right.
And then the other thing that came in is my command was very mad at me. The executive officer of the command was very mad at me in the Navy
Yeah.
that I had made that mistake and fell from that ranks.
Yeah.
And he told me that I was being released on appellate leave to appeal my conviction with a bad conduct discharge.
Yeah.
You didn't get it, so you're going out on appellate leave.
Okay.
And I lived for almost 20 years believing that I had in fact got a bad conduct discharge.
Okay.
I hadn't.
Wow.
The appellate board looked
Yeah.
at my record and looked at what I had been able to do and lives that I had saved in the
Yeah.
military, and they expunged
Oh, really?
the bad conduct discharge.
Okay.
It gave me an honorable discharge.
Okay. So you okay.
But I didn't know it.
Is that right? Okay.
And so I lived with that
Hanging over your head.
hanging over my head, thinking that was what I
Yeah.
deserved.
Yeah.
Now, this is the most important part,
All right.
is the amount of work and effort that it took to earn that presidential pardon. And it restores my rights, does not wipe clean the record.
Mm-hmm.
In the prison cell, when I got down on my knees,
Mm-hmm.
and I gave what I thought was a worthless life to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Right then and there, he changed who I was.
Yeah.
I got a pardon by God. I got it instantly,
Right.
and it was complete,
Yeah.
and it was real,
Yeah.
and I didn't have, I was doing lots of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, it happened that fast. And so a pardon by God
Yeah.
can be yours
Instantaneous.
if you failed. It can come just like that.
Yeah.
And that's the one that's so, so very important. And I've done dozens of suicide interventions.
Uh-huh.
I've talked to a lot of kids who are in trouble.
Yeah.
I've had many people write me from prison and,
Yeah.
and such. And God has given me a wonderful life.
Yeah.
And so no matter how bad your crime is, you can change.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to do atonement.
Mm-hmm.
You got to pay.
Yeah.
You got to serve.
Yeah.
You got to make a difference for the society and community.
Yeah.
And so I have been so blessed to be able to do such
Yeah.
good works.
So I love that, what you just said, and I want to tell you that it resonates with me because over the course of my 33 years in law enforcement, I have seen many, many people walk down the path that you walk down. And I've seen a good number of them come out the other end similarly situated as yourself. And one of the things that I have come to believe in is that there must be a pathway to redemption for everybody.
Everybody.
Everybody. And it's one of the things that kind of helps me stay positive in a career field that is awash with negativity, right?
Yes.
And that is the work that I do can lead to the outcomes that you've described, where people are in a better place after going through the system than they were before. And as I sit here today, and the last question I have for you, sitting here today, would you change anything?
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing.
Not a thing. I was asked to go up and speak to the Plumas County parole officers.
Yeah.
Because they were arresting people and they were being released.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I've worked with a lot of police agencies. I'd worked with police agencies when I was at Obama's Postal Fraud.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's something that I know.
Yeah.
Is suicide is very high amongst first responders.
It is. It's very high. Higher than the general population.
My brother, also a Vietnam vet.
Yeah.
I was on a speaking tour.
Yeah.
On the East Coast, and my wife didn't know how to get a hold of me, and she finally got a hold of somebody and said, he's speaking at a camp for kids, and this is a payphone there.
Yeah.
And she calls that number.
Right.
And I'm walking past this payphone at this park.
By happenstance.
By happenstance. Well, blessed.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
And I answered the phone.
Yeah.
And Cindy was on it. And she's calling to tell me my brother just committed suicide. And I lost it.
Sure.
But I was surrounded by the campers, the kids, and the adults.
Yeah.
And then I was going to be flying home. I had already had a ticket. I'd be flying home in time. But I was going to speak at a Sunday church.
Yeah.
And I did the church service. And then I did an evening program. I talk about the whales and the dolphins and the sharks and all the wonder of that.
Yeah.
And this girl comes up to me, and I'm standing at the back of the church, 14 years old.
Okay.
And she says, "Mr. Arrington, I'm sorry about your brother." I said, "Well, thank you." She said, "I'm not supposed to talk about that." I said, "It's okay. Thank you." She said, "You notice the pastor's not here today." And I said, "Do you want to tell me about that?" And she said, "I'm not supposed to talk about it." And then she went on to tell me that his son committed suicide that week.
Oh, wow.
And that he was her best friend.
Okay.
And that then she tried to commit suicide, but she wasn't brave enough. And then she fell against my chest, bawling.
Yeah.
And all the women at the church
are
right there. And this is the hardest time ever growing up in America.
Yep.
For young people.
I agree.
And for families and adults.
Yeah.
We need to care. And if we make a difference in somebody else's life, I think it was Benjamin Franklin who said, when you do good for others, you're doing the best for yourself.
Sure. Yep.
And officers, what they put on the line, men and women, the search and air rescue, the ambulance crews, saving lives. And it's amazed that my life has been saved and that I also have my honorable discharge.
Yeah, exactly.
So God is very, very good. You don't have to do this by yourself.
For sure. For sure. Well, my friend, that's an incredible story. I really appreciate you taking the time to come and share that with the listeners of my podcast. Again, I am inspired by stories of people who do the hard work, walk the road of redemption, and then are inspired to try to help other people either finding a better path or at least finding a way back from the path that they took. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Hey, if people are interested in your book, it's called In DeLorean Shadow. And where can they get it?
Amazon.
Amazon. Fantastic.
Simple as that. Just go to Amazon.
Okay.
And I'll say it's won awards.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm a writer, but I learned to write that book. But I pray all the time before I write.
Okay.
And I write about whales and dolphins and sharks and military operations and things that young people need to hear about making choices in life.
And you're a Butte County resident. I think
am.
That's a pretty darn cool thing. So that's fantastic. All right, people, that's our episode of the Sheriff's Mic. I really do hope that you enjoyed it and found this to be an interesting segment. If you did, I'd encourage you to like and share and follow. And if you're interested in me taking on a topic or you know somebody else who I should interview, by all means, email me at sheriffsmike@buttecounty.net. And until next time, stay safe, stay informed, and as always, you're clear to talk. Thank you.